Hey everyone, welcome back. I am so excited for today's deep dive
I am too.
because we're going to be talking about embryology,
Yes.
which is like one of the most fundamental and like mind-blowing topics in all of medicine.
Oh, absolutely.
So to break it down,
Yeah.
embryology is the study of how we develop from a single fertilized egg
Right.
into a complex, like fully formed human being.
Yeah.
And it's not just about like baby pictures in the womb. You know what I mean?
Right.
This stuff is like clinically super relevant
By the tears.
to understanding how our bodies work, how
Absolutely.
diseases develop,
Yep.
and even how we can like treat those diseases.
Yeah, and it helps us understand birth defects and congenital
Let's say,
anomalies,
yeah.
all sorts of things.
And to help us like really get into the nitty gritty,
Yeah.
we have an amazing expert with us today.
Well, thank you.
So are you ready to like dive in and explore this intricate world of like the beginning of life?
I am absolutely ready.
Awesome. So
Let's do it.
let's start like right at the very beginning.
Okay.
The foundation of it all.
Right.
Oogenesis.
Yeah.
The creation of the egg cell.
It all starts there.
It all starts there.
Doesn't it?
And like I remember learning about the menstrual cycle back in high school.
Right.
But honestly, like it wasn't until much later
Yeah.
that I really grasped how like essential that cycle is for embryology.
Oh, absolutely.
So can you walk us through like how that whole process works?
Sure, yeah. So the menstrual cycle really, it's like setting the stage for a potential pregnancy every single month.
Right.
It's driven by hormones that fluctuate throughout the month,
Okay.
causing the maturation and release of an egg from the ovary.
Okay.
And that egg is really like the star of the show
It is.
because without it,
Mhm.
there's no fertilization,
Well, for girls' disease.
no embryo.
Right.
So this whole hormonal dance is crucial
Yeah.
for creating an environment that's ready to support a new life.
Okay. So we've got this like perfectly primed egg
Right.
just waiting for
Waiting for a sperm.
the sperm, right?
Yeah.
And then bam,
Bam, fertilization.
fertilization happens.
Right.
So can you like break down exactly what's going on during that moment?
Yeah, so fertilization is when a sperm and an egg actually meet.
Okay.
They fuse together to form a single cell
Wow.
called a zygote.
The zygote.
And it's amazing,
Thanks,
this
Ariana.
tiny, tiny zygote.
Yeah.
It contains all the genetic information needed to create a whole new, unique human being.
It's wild.
Yeah, it really
But
is.
like all of that potential is packed into like one
One single cell.
tiny little cell.
Right.
So what happens next?
So from there, the zygote embarks on an incredible journey.
Okay.
It starts dividing rapidly as it travels down the fallopian tube
Oh, wow.
toward the uterus.
Okay.
And during this journey, it's transforming from a single cell into a ball of cells
Okay.
called a blastocyst.
So it's already like changing and developing
It is. It's constantly changing and developing.
as it's moving.
Right. And then this blastocyst,
Yeah.
it reaches the uterus
Okay.
and burrows into the uterine wall
Oh, wow.
in a process called implantation.
Implantation.
Yeah. And this is like a crucial step
Yeah.
because it establishes the connection between the developing embryo
Yeah.
and the mother's body.
Okay. So like,
That's when things really start to get interesting.
yeah, like things are getting real now.
They are.
So what happens after implantation?
So after implantation,
Yeah.
the embryo goes through another amazing transformation
Okay.
called gastrulation.
Gastrulation.
Have you ever heard of it?
I have heard of it, but I don't fully understand it.
So it's kind of like origami for cells.
Oh, okay.
The embryo, which is just a ball of cells at this point,
Okay.
it folds in on itself
Well,
to create 3 distinct layers of cells.
okay.
These are called the germ layers.
Germ layers. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, what are these layers and like, why are they important?
So each germ layer gives rise to specific organs and systems in the body.
Okay. So it's like a blueprint.
Exactly. It's like the body's blueprint.
Wow.
So we have the ectoderm,
Okay.
which is the outermost layer.
Okay.
This layer forms the skin,
Makes sense.
the nervous system.
So like our brain and spinal cord?
Yeah, the brain, spinal cord, and
Wow.
even our sense organs like our eyes and ears.
all from that one
They're
layer.
all from that one layer.
That is incredible.
Then we have the mesoderm,
Okay.
which is the middle layer.
Okay. The middle layer.
And this is responsible for things like muscles,
Okay.
bones,
Okay.
the circulatory system,
Wow.
the kidneys.
Okay.
A lot of really important structures.
So like the stuff that like really holds us together.
Yeah, the support system.
Oh, okay.
And then finally we have the endoderm,
Okay.
which is the innermost layer.
Innermost. Okay.
This layer forms the lining of the digestive system,
Oh, okay.
the respiratory system, and
Cool.
organs like the liver and pancreas.
It's amazing how, like, these three layers
It is amazing.
just give rise to, like, everything.
They really do.
It's like, I don't know, it's like the ultimate cellular differentiation.
Exactly. It's a beautiful process.
It's really cool.
And it's so precise. You
Yeah,
know,
it has to be.
if anything goes wrong during gastrulation,
Right.
it can lead to some serious birth defects.
Yeah, and like I think that's what makes embryology so crucial for medicine.
It's not just theoretical.
Yeah,
It has real world implications.
It's like understanding this process can help us prevent
Yes.
or even treat these like developmental issues.
Exactly.
So can you give us some specific examples of like how problems during gastrulation can lead to birth defects?
Yeah. So for example, if the neural tube, which forms the brain and spinal cord, doesn't close properly, this can lead to neural tube defects, like spina bifida.
And like how common are these kinds of defects?
Well, neural tube defects are actually one of the most common birth defects.
Oh, wow.
They occur in about 1 in every 1,000 pregnancies.
That's a lot.
It is. And, you know, the thing is that many of these defects can actually be prevented with things like folic acid supplementation.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a simple intervention, but it can have a huge impact.
Wow. So like understanding embryology can actually lead to like real tangible solutions for these.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it can also help guide treatment. For example, if a baby is born with a heart defect, understanding how the heart develops in the embryo can help surgeons plan and perform corrective surgeries.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So gastrulation is obviously like a really critical stage.
It's a big one.
In development.
It is.
But there's like so much more to this journey.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's just the beginning.
So what are some of the other like key milestones that happen after gastrulation?
So after gastrulation, we start to see the development of specific organs and systems from those germ layers.
Right, the blueprint.
Yeah, the blueprint.
Yes. Yeah.
And one of the most fascinating structures that emerges early on are the pharyngeal arches.
What are those?
So imagine them as a series of like arches that appear in the developing neck region of the embryo.
Why?
They might sound kind of obscure.
Yeah, they do.
But they actually play a huge role in shaping our face, our neck, and even parts of our inner ear.
It's kind of crazy to think that like our ears develop from these like
these weird little arches
in our neck.
Yeah.
So like how does that even happen?
So each pharyngeal arch contains cells from all 3 germ layers, and these cells interact with each other to form specific structures. So for example, the first pharyngeal arch gives rise to the jaw bones, the muscles for chewing, and parts of the inner ear.
Wow, all from that one arch.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
It's amazing.
And then you have the second pharyngeal arch, which contributes to the formation of the facial muscles.
Oh, wow.
The hyoid bone in the neck.
Okay.
And parts of the middle ear.
Wow. So these arches are like super important.
They are incredibly important.
Like our facial development.
Absolutely. And, you know, problems with the development of these arches can lead to a variety of birth defects.
Like what?
Well, one of the most common ones is cleft palate.
Right.
So cleft palate occurs when the tissues that make up the roof of the mouth, they don't fuse together properly during development. And this can be caused by a variety of factors, including genetic mutations, environmental exposures, and problems with the development of the pharyngeal arches.
Wow. So like knowing about these arches,
it's crucial.
Can help doctors like diagnose and treat these conditions.
It can help guide surgical repair.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really important.
So we've talked about the pharyngeal arches.
Yeah.
But like, what about the heart?
Oh, the heart.
I mean, that's like
it's amazing.
One of the most vital organs.
It is.
How does that develop in the embryo?
So the heart actually starts as a simple tube.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Wow.
And this tube undergoes a series of complex folding and partitioning events to eventually form the 4-chambered heart that we're all familiar with.
That is so cool.
It's mind-blowing.
I mean, I never would have imagined that the heart starts out as like a tube.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
It is wild.
But, you know, these steps have to happen in a very precise order.
Right.
And if anything goes wrong,
it
can lead to congenital heart defects.
And like, those are pretty serious.
They can be very serious.
Yeah.
Congenital heart defects are actually one of the most common types of birth defects. And they can range in severity from mild to life-threatening.
So, like, how do doctors even diagnose these defects?
Well, the prenatal ultrasound is one of the most important tools.
Okay.
It allows doctors to visualize the developing heart and look for any structural abnormalities.
So, like, understanding embryology is essential for interpreting those images.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's incredible.
And, in some cases, these defects can actually be treated before birth.
Really?
Yeah, with fetal surgery.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's pretty remarkable what they can do these days.
It really is.
And all thanks to our understanding of embryology.
Right, like if we didn't know how the heart was supposed to develop,
exactly,
we wouldn't know what to look for.
Or how to fix it.
Exactly.
So it's incredibly important knowledge.
So we've talked a lot about, like, the embryo itself and, like, the development of its organs.
Yeah.
But, like, what about the structures that support the embryo?
Well, that's another fascinating aspect.
Yeah.
So the embryo is surrounded by a set of membranes called the fetal membranes.
Fetal membranes, okay.
Yeah.
And what do those do?
So these membranes help protect the embryo and create a safe environment for it to grow.
Okay.
One of the most important fetal membranes is the amnion.
Okay, the amnion?
You've probably heard of amniotic fluid.
Yeah.
So the amnion is the sac that surrounds the embryo.
Okay.
And it's filled with this amniotic fluid.
Right, so, like, what's the purpose of that fluid?
Well, it acts like a cushion
Okay.
to protect the embryo from bumps and jolts.
Oh, okay.
It also helps regulate temperature
Okay.
and allows the embryo to move freely.
So it's like a little swimming pool for the embryo.
Exactly. It's a nice little swimming pool.
That's so cool.
It is pretty cool.
So we've got the amnion.
Yeah.
Are there other membranes?
There are. So there's also the chorion.
Okay, the chorion.
Which is the outermost membrane.
Okay.
And it actually contributes to the formation of the placenta.
The placenta, wow.
Yeah.
So, like, the placenta is pretty important, right?
It's absolutely essential.
Yeah.
The placenta is the organ that connects the developing embryo to the mother's blood supply.
Okay.
It allows for the exchange of nutrients, oxygen, and waste products.
Wow, so it's like the lifeline for the embryo?
It is. It's a remarkable organ.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
So, like, how does the placenta even develop?
So the placenta develops from the chorion and the uterine lining.
Okay.
It's a complex process.
I bet.
But essentially, the chorionic villi, which are finger-like projections from the chorion, they extend into the uterine wall, and they come into close contact with the mother's blood vessels.
So it's like, it's intertwining?
Exactly. It's like this intricate network of blood vessels.
That's so cool.
That allows for the exchange of all these vital substances.
Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible how, like, the mother's body adapts to support the developing embryo.
Yeah, it's a beautiful example of the power of biology.
It really is.
So, we've talked about a lot of complex processes today.
We have, yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that embryology is not just about memorizing facts and stages.
Right.
It's about understanding the incredible journey that we all undertake from conception to birth.
And, like, how that journey shapes who we are.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's also about appreciating the complexity and beauty of human development.
And, like, the clinical significance of it all.
Absolutely.
Right.
Understanding embryology is crucial for diagnosing and treating birth defects, for developing new therapies, and for advancing our knowledge of human health and disease.
Yeah, it's like the foundation of so much of medicine.
It really is.
So, I mean, I don't know of you, but I'm feeling pretty mind blown right now.
Me too. It's always an amazing topic to discuss.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that you can just, like, keep learning about.
Absolutely.
And it never gets old.
Never.
So thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been so insightful.
Thank you for having me.
And to all of our listeners out there, if you're, like, even a little bit fascinated by the miracle of life, I highly encourage you to, like, dive deeper into the world of embryology.
There's so much to learn.
You won't regret it.
And, maybe this deep dive has sparked some questions for you.
I bet it has.
So keep those questions coming.
Yes, please do.
We love hearing from you.
And until next time.
Stay curious.
Stay curious.
Keep exploring.
And keep learning.
Absolutely.
See ya.
Bye.